You're watching a video with a mouse on it and you can see the mouse moving about and you're trying to move your mouse at the same time. It gets very confusing as to what you're actually doing, but such is life. That's what we have to put up with sometimes. Okay, right, hello? Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, please subscribe, put the bell on, do all that kind of stuff, and leave a comment. I love to read comments, and this video has responded to at least one comment that got me thinking in the last video that I made. Oh, that was a bit stumbled with the ums and the ahs, wasn't it? I should be doing some editing of that, I think. Lots of jump cuts. Okay, and we're looking at the ES1 again today. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of sample editing using the old favourite of Audacity. And I'm going to do the standard things. Make sure it's 32,000 kilohertz. Make sure everything's down in mono. And normalise everything so you get a really good level. When I got back into music making, I spent probably about 4 months since I started making videos familiarising myself with kit that I already had. So with the ES1 and how that worked, loading the samples, I was quite pleased to find that I still had some samples on there and the card and all of that kind of stuff, and the kit to be able to load samples on. So I started having an experiment with that. I'm pretty much there. I know the standard procedure. It's got to be 32 kilohertz, got to be in mono, and you're looking to save space because being an old bit of kit, it's got limited amount of space for memory. Got to have everything normalised as well, because if it's normalised you get nice levels when you play back and it's easier to balance the sounds. So I've learnt all of that. I've learnt the soloing and the muting and various balancing and a few little tricks like making a sample shorter by speeding it up in Audacity so that it takes up less space on the Electribe. And then when you load it back into the Electribe, it plays back at the right speed when you slow it down. Very handy tip when you're working with limited space. All that done, having learned all that, put samples on, taken samples off, I'm now going to start, hopefully, building a set. So that involves clearing everything off of the ES1, which actually is quite a long job. There is not a single button which acts as a reset. You have to clear everything off individually. I'm selecting groups of 9 samples to go on the pads in the ES1, and they're going to cover usually 2 vocal samples, some percussive squeaks and noises, a bit of a tap, pad sound and an atmosphere, and I'm going to use that in conjunction with obviously the Novation Circuit which I got to replace the TR626, which incidentally is up on eBay for sale at the moment. I cannot fill my place with gear that I am not going to use, and I'm on a mission to strip down. It's a little game I'm playing with myself. Okay, so part of the reason that I got inspired to go back and to get into doorless jamming and making music again was watching a video by Ricky Tynes where he had his perfect doorless live setup, and I really enjoyed that video, and it sparked something in me, and it made me remember when I had been playing live with doorless stuff years ago, and I thought I could do it again. And in the back of my head I had a little game for doing it that I devised. Basically the game was that I had to be able to put everything into one bag that I could carry myself. Last time around I had pretty much a car boot full of equipment that I used to go and do a gig, and let me tell you, that was irritating and confusing. Far too many wires, too many bits of kit that I didn't really need. Looked quite good on stage because everybody likes to see a whole load of kit and a big old wired mess, but it wasn't really that practical. So this time, number one rule, got to be able to carry it in one bag that I can take on a plane, I can take on a train, I can just put on the passenger seat next to me in the car. That's it, everything in one bag. Second rule, I've got to be able to give a stereo feed out to the front of house, so I will take care of everything. I just give them a stereo feed and that's all they get. I suppose a bit like I was a DJ. The last rule is that all of the sound sources must come from different manufacturers, because every manufacturer has their own particular sound for things. So 3 different manufacturers, 4 different manufacturers, however many bits of kit I use, all come from different people. Now, here we are. I've learned how to use the ESI. I've got the Novation, which replaces the TR6. I've got the circuit, which replaces the TR626, that will do the drums and has the bonus of having 2 synths in there. I've got another box which I've decided I am going to use for this, and I'm going to do a video on that next week. Oh, that reminds me, I got a question asking about whether the ES1, whether you could use subfolders. Somebody was uploading samples to the card in subfolders and couldn't understand why they couldn't see the samples that they'd downloaded. And the ES1 doesn't read subfolders. Any samples you put on there have got to be on the surface. They've got to be straight directly onto the card, otherwise it can't read them. So I did a little test to find out whether that was true or not, and it is. You have to have it on the surface. Okay, I think I'm just about done. I'm going to load the samples up on here and then we are there. Okay, so the samples loaded back into the machine, and that's when I start playing with them. And what you're hearing on the soundtrack of this video is the samples that have come off of the ES1. So this backing is the first step, I think, in me building a set. There will be tweaks, there will be changes, but fundamentally that's the start of a sound set. Oh, the file, when I blanked the ES1, I created a file of the blanked settings, the whole thing, and I'm looking at a way that I can put that on a share link down the bottom. So if it's there, which it should be down there somewhere, or over to the side, or wherever the comments section is, or the description is, pick up the file and do it quick, because I'm not sure how long it will last, but I'm hoping to work it out. Read the comments or read the description and it will tell you a little bit more. I hope that's about it. That's kind of where I'm going at the moment. I've got another box that I will use, but I will probably show you that in the next video, and that'll be it. You will have been introduced to all three of the bits of kit that I will be using, at least in my head, plus, you know, the usual coming back to the Nord Modular, which I will finish that series and I'll make it for sound design. I quite like, there was some old stuff I found and I thought, that's a cunning way to do stuff. Anyway, enough of my rambling on. I hope you've enjoyed whatever you've managed to glean out of this. Come back again, subscribe, it should be entertaining, and turn on the bell for notifications. And if you're really lucky, I'll get good at this and I'll stop putting in lots of so you won't get quite so bored. That's it. See ya. Have fun. Bye.